Hey guys, what's up? This is Bharat. You're watching iGyaan, and Asus has just dropped finally the ROG Phone 3, and we're going to be checking it out. Lots of interesting features on this phone, and we've also got the ROG Cetra earphones, which we've already unboxed, and you can go check those out in the link on the top right by clicking the bubble, or you can go to them by clicking on the link in the description. But right now, it's time to look at the ROG Phone 3, so let's quickly get started. So we're unboxing the ROG Phone 3 and the ROG Cetra earphones. I want to see what's inside the box. I'm really excited for this device, so let's quickly do that. So it says for those who dare. We do have the price on the back here, and it does say that the price is $55,999, but I am bound to believe that this will launch for around $50,000. So first thing inside the box is the really nice ROG SIM ejector tool and the frame case. Now this is a freebie in India. Overseas they sell this at an extra premium. This is a 1,000 rupee case, more or less, that's included for free. We've got the phone itself. Really excited to look at this. Place it to the side for the time being. Go further in. We've got a USB-C to 3.5mm headphone jack, and this is relevant, and I'll tell you why in just a second. And we've got the fast charger. This one is a 30 watt max, so we're charging at 30 watts with the ROG Phone 3. And then of course you have the really high quality USB-C to USB-C charging cable, because this does have a USB-C port on the back. Let's take a look at the phone. So the design also pushes it away slightly from a very phone-like design or a game-like design to now a more smartphone-like design. So it's not very game-focused in terms of design, but I'm sure there's RGB in here, and there's still cooling for the device in here. Lots of interesting things on the internal components, and we'll check those out. Let's quickly turn on the phone. So the design is really nice. Build quality and construction looks and feels really nice. And I know that the triggers have been updated as well, so we still get gaming triggers here, but they can be split into 2 gaming triggers, which is absolutely brilliant. Okay, so what you do is you open this up, and you can remove this little plastic cover. And so if you look at it over here, you'll see that there are additional USB-C ports, and you can plug in your dongle actually here and continue using your phone and charging your phone while getting audio out from here. Or alternatively, you can plug in your charger here and continue using your phone and use your headphones from here. So despite the fact that there is a dongle, you're not losing your USB-C port, which makes this a proper gaming phone, because you know that if you're gaming for longer sessions, you're going to be needing a charger. So that's pretty epic. So it's asking me what I want as my theme. I can pick the ROG theme, or I can also pick a standard classic theme, which will be more subtle, more smartphone-like. I'm going to stick to default for now. Let's click done. And now it's showing me ROG Elite desperately needs you to join the resistance mission immediately. So let's try that. It says scan ROG totem. I'm guessing the ROG totem is here. And let's scan it. Swipe inwards from these areas to exit full screen. Okay. Allow. That's pretty cool. Look at that. Really cool AR experiences all over the smartphone industry now, it seems. Let's tap start. How do we start? Start. Pretty cool. So, like quite literally an AR experience right in the box. So, that's what the phone is, right out the box. A really cool experience. Let's take a look at the device itself. So that was the unboxing experience, and I really like the AR feature that they've added into the unboxing experience. Anyone with this new phone will really enjoy that. But more importantly, let's get into the specifications, and just because of the specifications, this has to be the most spec-heavy phone that you can get in the price bracket, and the price tag of the variants is also really appreciable for the kind of specifications we are getting inside the phone. So we leave links to buying the phone as well as more details on when it will be available in the description below. But let's talk about some of the basic specifications that make this phone really interesting. So if we look at the front, we have a 6.59-inch display, which has a full HD plus resolution. But more importantly, it has a 144 Hz refresh rate with a 1 millisecond response time and a 270 Hz touch sampling rate, which is impressive just in terms of numbers, but it is also impressive in terms of functionality, and this makes it one of the fastest refresh rate displays available on a mobile device today. The display is also an AMOLED display, which is impressive because you get the deep colors as well as great contrast. But more importantly, this is also HDR10 plus certified, and it has 1000 nits of peak brightness with a 650 nits of average brightness. The front of the phone is protected by a 2.5D Corning Gorilla Glass 6, and the display is a 113% DCI P3 color gamut coverage, which makes it a really color-rich display as well. Now, unlike typical phones that are available today, which are mostly edge-to-edge, there is a considerable amount of forehead and chin on this phone, and that is mostly to house some of the mechanisms that are in this device. So if you look at the front of the phone, you do have stereo speakers that are forward-firing. So if you're watching content or playing games, which is what the ROG Phone 3 is primarily for, you'll get a lot of great audio firing forwards, and the speakers are really nice and loud. But despite being loud, they're also rich in terms of the kind of tuning that they've done to the speakers. So you get good amounts of bass as well as mid-range on the speakers, which is not really expected from a smartphone with inbuilt speakers, but you're getting that with the ROG Phone 3. The front-facing camera is a 24 megapixel camera, and it has an f2 aperture. If you look at the bottom of the phone, you'll see that it just has a USB-C port and a microphone, and that's because the speakers are forward-firing. But if you look at the left side of the phone, you'll find additional USB-C ports. One of these can be used for charging as well, while it is mostly a connection port that Asus uses to connect their proprietary connectors for example, the fan that you can attach to this. The new generation fan also comes with a kickstand, so you can pop it onto a desk if you're just watching content, or if you're using one of their controllers, which is a Bluetooth controller, you can pop the fan with the phone on the desk, so you get a free cool experience and a mount on the front desk, and the phone is propped up, and then you can use the controller to play games on the device, which is absolutely brilliant, one of the best gaming features to have. And the connector can be used for several other accessories that Asus makes. We covered some of them in the last generation. All of them mostly will be compatible with the ROG Phone 3 as well. So if you have a previous generation ROG Phone 2 and you bought all of these accessories, they will work with the ROG Gen 3 device. But the fan will not work because they've changed the design of the fan, and they've also changed the position of the vent. So if you're thinking of using the same fan that you bought last year, that will not work, but all of the other accessories are still compatible. Now, if you move over to the right of the phone, you'll see that it has an additional microphone along with a power button and volume buttons. Now, the additional microphone is useful for while you're gaming, so it will help in noise cancellation as well as capturing your own audio if you're just not using any kind of headphones. You also have gaming triggers on the side, which are now dividable. So instead of just two gaming triggers, you can have L1, L2 trigger on the left side and then R1, R2 trigger on the right side. And these can be customized from the Armory crate or while in-game, and you can have individual actions assigned. So what I found really interesting is that you can divide these controllers up, and then you can have L1, L2 as your left peak and right peak, and then have R1, R2 as maybe throwables, and then R2 can be your main gunfire, which is really cool to have on a smartphone. You can also use your console controllers with this. So if you have a PlayStation, you can sync it up with a PlayStation controller, and you can use that as a controller for your smartphone, which is again excellent. You can pinpoint the positions of the buttons and the sticks using the Armory crate, and you can set up points and then use the controller as your main controller for any game that you can play on the phone, which is brilliant. So let's talk about the rest of the phone. So if you move over to the top, again, another noise cancellation microphone. So it's sort of full of noise cancellation microphones, and the audio is really good as well. So we'll talk about that. If you turn over to the back, you'll see that there's a vent on the phone, and then you continue to get the ROG RGB lighting sort of logo in here, which is brilliant. You can customize this quite a lot this time around. You can turn it on when the phone is even on off mode. It can continue breathing, giving you that breathing effect on the RGB LED. And you can also have it turned on when you're talking on the phone, or just turned on only when you're gaming. So lots of customizations for the rear RGB LED as well. And then you also have a vent for the fan, and lots of cooling inside the phone this time around as well. You also have a graphite sheet, which is much more thicker than what they put in last time. Now, lots of cameras on the back as well, and lots of camera functionality on this phone that we need to discuss as well. So the primary camera is a 64 megapixel Sony IMX686 sensor with a 0.8 micron pixel size. It does have the quad Bayer technology, so you get 16 megapixels into 4 to get the 64 effective megapixels. You do get a f1.8 aperture, and you also get a secondary rear camera, which is a 13 megapixel ultra wide camera. Unlike typical cameras that stop at 110 degrees, this one is a 125 degree ultra wide camera. It does have an f2.4 aperture. It does have the distortion correction as well, so you won't get that fisheye effect when you're using this lens. The third camera is a 5 megapixel macro camera, and it does have an f2 aperture. So if you're into macro shots, you still get that capability. The rear camera can now capture 8K video at 30 frames per second, but you also have 4K at 60, 4K at 30, then 1080 as well. You also have slow-mo and lots of features in the camera app as well, which we will detail when we get into the full review. But in general, the camera app is very extensive, and you do have a lot of control, including a pro mode that gets you final control over your images when you're using them. So the ROG Phone 3 has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 Plus processor, and this is overclocked to up to 3.1 gigahertz, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, this is a 5G enabled chip. This is a overclocked version of the 865, and this is the first phone to get the 865 Plus. Now, this also has the Adreno 650 GPU. Now, the phone will be available in either an 8GB or a 12GB variant with either 128GB of storage or 256GB of storage. Now let's talk about the user interface. This phone runs a mostly bare Android skin and no bloatware on this device whatsoever, which is really, really nice. You have lots of customizations when you set up the phone, and you can also choose whether you want a subtle theme or a more game-specific theme, which is the ROG theme. And then you can also customize certain things which are gaming related only from the one app, which is the Armoury Crate. And there is literally no other app on this phone that has been put by Asus, which makes the user experience really, really nice. Lots of stock stuff, nothing extra, no additional apps. And you will really enjoy that experience. Download whatever you want. You can also install skins or whatever you want, but nothing done by Asus. Basic theming and one single app to allow you to customize your gaming features. Now, once you get into the Armoury Crate, lots of customizations there as well. You do have per game customizations, but then you also have the X mode, which in general will push your CPU to the max and also remove any kind of throttling that you have. So it does ramp up the processor, and it will obviously pull down your battery. And but it goes from an idle of about 800 megahertz to speed of 2 gigahertz. So it just pushes the CPU, and then you just don't get lag. If you want to use it on the X mode for just day-to-day navigation, it'll be overkill, but you can do that as well just by going into the X mode and just turning it on. Also, for games that don't support it, this feature is really useful. So if you're using a game that doesn't show up in the Armoury Crate for some reason, you can just turn on the X mode and then jump into the game and start gaming as well. Now, like I mentioned, if you're playing games like PUBG, this phone is designed for that. But if you do have higher refresh rate games available, you can play any of those, and you do get up to 144 Hertz directly on the screen. The gaming triggers can be customized, like I mentioned, from the Armoury Crate, and the gaming experience in general is fantastic. Because the phone has two USB-C ports, you can continue to charge your phone and listen to headphones which are wired if you want, by using any of the two connectors. If you use the fan, you still get an additional USB-C connector from the fan as well, so you can continue to connect your headphones. Also, the fan also includes a 3.5mm headphone jack, which is brilliant. Or you can also use the USB-C to 3.5mm dongle that is included inside the box of the ROG Phone 3. What is also included for India is the frame case. This typically is a extra case, or you have to pay for this in other countries, but Asus has included this inside the box of the ROG Phone 3. There are several other cases that Asus will launch with the phone, but in general, the phone with all of these things right out the box looks absolutely brilliant, and you can see the RGB light is just going in my hand. It's quite distracting. So the phone has a 6000 mAh battery, which is crucial for gamers, and it is a large battery. And with the phone, if you do put it on the 144 Hz, you will see the battery going out quickly. But if you're using it for day-to-day usage, it's not going to matter at all, because the 6000 milliamp hour battery is massive. But you also get fast charging with up to 30 watt charging support, and a PD3 or Power Delivery 3.0 charger is included inside the box. It's a USB-C to USB-C charging cable, which is also included inside the box. So impressive with terms of specifications, or with respect to everything that is inside the box, with respect to build quality, with respect to gaming performance, with respect to cameras and capability as well. You can also do 4K video at 120 frames per second. So really cool features in the phone in itself. But is this going to be the ultimate phone to get? Is something that we'll test out in the review. One thing I would like to mention is that if you haven't watched the video for the headphones, the ROG Cetra, you should, because those are really impressive ANC headphones, active noise cancellation headphones. They plug in directly into the USB-C port. They get recognized by the phone directly without needing to do anything, and then the audio wizard sets them up based on the ambient noise, and then you have really impressive active noise cancellation on earphones as well. So if you're a gamer and you're planning on buying the ROG Phone 3, I would definitely recommend the Cetra earphones, which will definitely make the gaming experience a lot better. But we will be testing this phone in depth, lots of things to test on this device, video capabilities, gaming capabilities, overall performance. It seems like a really, really promising package. And of course, everything is better with RGB, right? But we will test everything out and let you know what we think about this device. So if you have questions, we need your questions in the comment section below. Drop them. Tell us what to test on this device. Tell us what to see on this device. And we will try all of those things out and come back with a full detailed review if you guys are interested. If you'd like us to check out some specific accessories for the ROG Phone 3, do let us know that. We'll try and arrange those and test those out for the full review as well. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. Lots of things to be discussed for this phone. We'll try and get all of that done. Smash the like button if you liked it. You can smash the other button if you didn't. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already a part of Team iGyaan. This has been Bharat. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one.